Good morning, everyone. Today we're coming to you from St. Augustine, one of the oldest cities in America. And in this video here, we're going to show you everything there is to do in St. Augustine, from the tourist attractions and museums to the zoo, everything there is to see. Food,
drinks.
Yeah. So we're going to show off everything. If you haven't followed us before, I go by The Legend, joined by my wonderful girlfriend Molly. Let's go take you on a tour of St. Augustine. So let's kick off the things to do in St. Augustine here at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park. Now, there's not a true zoo here in St. Augustine, but this is the closest you get. It costs about $28 to get into, and it's pretty impressive.
Yes.
I went in thinking like, oh, I don't know, $28 to see some alligators, but they have like every single species of alligator and crocodile, and they're presented really well.
Yeah, a lot of critically endangered ones.
Yes.
And habitats are super nice.
Yeah, all the enclosures are very well done, really good signage, themed audio in different areas. They do presentations that are presented really well, and they've got some star attractions too. They had 28 Siamese crocodiles, which is a critically endangered species. The American crocodile exhibit is amazing.
Yes.
It is like a swamp the size of a football field.
A never-ending boardwalk with
Yeah,
hundreds of them.
Just amazing. And then I think the star of the show is Maximo, which is like an Australian crocodile who is 15 feet long.
And giant.
And they've got an amazing enclosure for him with a underwater viewing, above water viewing. Overall, I was really impressed here at the Alligator Farm. Wonderful exhibit. And as a guy that likes the occasional adult beverage, they saw a big 32-ounce refillable beer cup, so including beer that's made especially for the Alligator Farm.
By Ancient City.
Yep. All right. So that was a pretty good first stop. Another popular thing to do is to go up to the lighthouse. And this is a lighthouse that's been here since the 1800s, I believe. Looks in really great shape. Now, it does cost money to go up in the lighthouse. We're kind of strapped for time, so we're not going to do it.
We just wanted to see it.
Yeah, it's beautiful looking.
Yes.
It is about $13 if you want to go up there, but they do have some other museum exhibits and that kind of style of stuff over there as well. But if you want to go all the way to the top, it is 219 steps up. So the next attraction here in St. Augustine we want to talk about is the Fountain of Youth, a archaeological park. I went into this exhibit thinking it would be very much a roadside tacky tourist attraction, and that's really not what you got here. This is very much more a historical park, akin to like a Colonial Williamsburg or something like that. You do have the Fountain of Youth, but they really don't talk about like the myth and legend regarding how it's gonna, drop your age 20 years. And it was much more, the whole experience is about, the arrival of Ponce de Leon and the Native American tribes that were here before. So lots of different exhibits in there. The fountain, it is a pretty neat exhibit as far as...
be forewarned, it's very sulfury.
It's not the best taste in water.
Make sure
in the old fountain.
You kind of limit it unless you really want to
but it is neat. They give you
your age.
They give you a little plastic cup and you go and put it under, and it was kind of neat. Yeah. One thing I enjoyed, there was free roaming peacocks all throughout the exhibit.
Yep.
And apparently you could buy some peanuts and feed them. I didn't see it till we left, but they were really cool. Those are fun animals.
I like the pelican at the end of the boardwalk.
Yeah, there's a really cool
boardwalk.
Gave me the
eye of like, don't you even dare come near me.
Yep. So kind of a neat experience here at the Fountain of Youth. The next stop on our things to do in St. Augustine is a staple in a lot of tourist towns, and that's Ripley's Believe It or Not. But what makes this Ripley's Believe It or Not here a little bit more interesting, this was the original. So now you've seen them all over in pretty much every major tourist town, from Disney World to Amsterdam to Gatlinburg to Hollywood, San Francisco. But it's all started here in St. Augustine.
I was very confused for a second. You just said Disney World. You mean Orlando?
Orlando, Disney World, same idea. Oh, yeah. No, all right, but the museum itself is pretty cool. Costs about $20 to go in. You can do a combo ticket with the Red Train tour around town for $32. And I enjoyed the museum. We were in there for about an hour and 10 minutes, and it was well done. There was some Ripley stuff you see everywhere, some that was unique, and kind of a cool old castle building that has its own kind of haunted mythology. So this is one I would definitely recommend, especially if you like the Ripley's museums. So we just got off the Red Train tour, which takes you on about an hour-long tour of St. Augustine. It was really cool. You got to see all the sights. The tour guide was really good.
Yes.
Yeah, he was playing like sound effects, and there was nothing really to see in the tour, so he sang
Jeffrey.
Jeff, yeah.
Jeff.
Hey, there was nothing to see in the tour for about 5 minutes, so he just sang a Britney Spears song.
Yeah.
Completely a cappella.
Yeah.
Tour was really cool. You paired it up with the Ripley's Museum, and I think it was $32 for the both of them. I think it's a pretty solid deal there. A good way to see all the city, all the sights, learn a lot about the history as well.
Learn a lot.
Yeah, because I mean, walking around, we walked around the city a little bit yesterday, but we don't know what it's all about. Now we know a lot about the city.
And now you can't get off of this one. It's just a straight drive.
Yeah.
But I recommend it.
Yeah, I was very happy with it. Tour guide was really good.
Yeah.
So this building right here is home to the Lightner Museum, which is a collection of a lot of Victorian era stuff.
It was originally the second hotel, I think. It was a hotel, and then a collector bought it who lived in Chicago.
Yeah, and now it's about $15 to get in, and they've got all sorts of stuff inside. We're not gonna have time to go visit on this trip, but kind of bummed. It would have been neat.
Yeah, no, I would have definitely liked to.
And the building just looks beautiful. Something that's normally very popular to do here in St. Augustine is tour the Flagler College. Now this building began its life as the Ponce de Leon Hotel, pretty much a hotel reserved for the ultra rich and famous.
Yeah, luxury hotel.
And now it is a college. They're currently doing tours based on the ongoing global health situation and the distancing that goes along with that. But the building, just to walk by, beautiful.
It looks like a beautiful college.
Yeah.
Architecture, man.
One thing you'll find a lot here in St. Augustine is different art galleries where you can go in and buy all different types of art. And we've seen them all over town. So if you're into that kind of thing, there's definitely some all over the place. Here in the marina, what really stands out is that ship there. That is the Black Raven pirate ship. Now this is cruises on the bay over here, and they do like a kid-friendly cruise where there's one ship attacks another ship, and they do pirates and little kid stuff. Then on Friday and Saturday nights, they do an adult-only rum runner cruise. We were actually supposed to be on that tonight, but they had to cancel it because only 4 people showed up.
So another couple.
Yeah, so us and 2 more people, and they have to run with 25. But if you're in town, you want to try something different, if you have kids or what I'm assuming would have been a fun night out drinking rum on a pirate ship, check out the Black Raven. The next exhibit is something that's a tourist town staple.
Yes.
And that is the Wax Museum. Here in St. Augustine, it is Potter's Wax Museum.
Which is the one and only?
I believe so. I've never heard of a different one, and I travel quite a bit. Now, Potter's Wax Museum is much more of a historically focused wax museum. So you'll see a lot of like figureheads from all throughout history.
Presidents.
Yeah.
Royalty.
Middle Ages. All sorts of stuff. Even some they have a St. Augustine section, so you do have like Ponce de Leon and stuff like that. And you got U.S. presidents, historical music figures, and they do have their fair share of pop culture stuff as well.
Like Harry Potter.
And Voldemort. I liked Voldemort. I don't know about Harry.
Yeah.
They were hanging out next to Tiger Woods.
And then the best one.
Oh, it's got to be Star Wars.
Yes.
And everyone's favorite Star Wars film. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, as they have a giant Jar Jar Binks.
And small Anakin.
Yep, and pod racing Anakin. I would say it's not a very expensive museum to come into. We found a coupon for $3 off, so it only costs us about $9 to come in here. So if you're into wax figures or history, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking for something different on your trip? Well, they've got a medieval torture museum here, right on St. George Street. Gonna run you about $13 or so to go in. I do enjoy the giant executioner wax figure gentleman that hangs out right near the Torture Museum. So right by the castle, you see that wall there? That was the city wall they built to keep people out, and these were the big old gates to get into the city.
The only way.
Yeah, the only way in and out, kind of. But really, really cool. And then once you get past the city gates, that is what's known as St. George Street, which is kind of like the main street of St. Augustine. Tons of shops, bars, restaurants, and it's pedestrian only. So it is definitely somewhere you want to visit if you're going to St. Augustine. And they've got plenty of bars, so I'm very happy there. This here is the oldest schoolhouse in the USA.
Now, I did this the last time I came.
You did?
Yes, it was $5.
That's not a bad price.
Yeah, you toured the school. There was animatronics that talk about things.
$5 for animatronics?
Yes, and you get a certificate saying that you graduated once you leave.
That's pretty good. Price point's pretty good.
Yeah.
Very interesting garden here at the old schoolhouse with all the statues and busts.
I like the wall, how it's like the old time shell.
Yeah. Coquina, as we've learned.
Yeah.
Over by Ripley's in the Castillo is a visitor center, which has a free history museum inside.
Yes.
And it's pretty nice looking, especially for free. Lots of artifacts, and I love the ship model. Well, I guess the replica ship. You could also come in here and grab your, train tickets, I'm sure, and brochures and whatnot. But for free, pretty solid. Also, right by the visitor center is this really, really neat fountain. It is a replica of one that was here in the 1500s. Also, right by the visitor center, you have this, which is the old Spanish Trail's 0 milestone. This big concrete ball here, which was a road that went from St. Augustine, Florida, all the way to San Diego, California. Neat.
Yeah.
This here is Ripley's Bayfront Mini Golf, obviously right there on the bay. It is Florida's oldest mini golf, so definitely doesn't look as exciting as some modern courses. But it is only about like $7 to play, which is pretty inexpensive for mini golf here in 2021. Got kind of a neat, unique look to it, but yeah, not one I need to go and do. The big bridge that takes you over the bay here is known as the Lions Bridge, and has these really cool lion statues there in front of it. So this is pretty neat. This is the Heritage Walk right on St. George Street. It is like an indoor alleyway with 24 different shops in it. Neat. Avila Street here is one of the oldest streets in America. I think it's the oldest street. And there are some shops and museums on that as well. Another museum we're not going to have time to check out is the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum. Did look kind of neat. There's like a big pirate ship recreation in there, and lots of pirate artifacts. Another museum that's going to run you, $10 to $13 to get into. Right in the center tour is also the St. Augustine Colonial Experience, which I'm guessing is like a Colonial Williamsburg type history walkthrough. From two other tourist attractions, this is the old jail, which you go on a tour and there's actors and stuff like that. And attached to this complex is also the oldest store. Same kind of idea, you go on a tour of the old store, and there's live actors that show you the different things that would be for sale there. The old jail is going to run you about $15 to go and check out. Didn't have time to do it on this trip, but it did sound kind of neat. I love that kind of like themed entertainment with the actors. So one way to see the town is the Old Town Trolley, which is a hop-on, hop-off tour that takes you all over the village.
Which last time I was here, that's what my family and I did.
Yeah.
We did this.
It is expensive, $29 a person to hop on, hop off. But it is kind of convenient. They do a narrated tour and takes you all over town.
Yeah, and you can get off on the stops that you want.
Which especially I feel like if you're a little bit older.
If it's older and if you have one day and there's a lot of sites that you want to see.
Yeah. They do have a lot of adorable shops here in St. Augustine. I do like the Christmas shop here. Lots of different stuff in there.
Very different.
And you could buy a full-size leg lamp from the Christmas Story film.
You know how much I love that.
Every year we watch it. Now, St. Augustine being a super old city, it's no surprise that they have a super old cemetery. I mean, look at some of those. It looks very Scooby-Doo-esque.
Yes.
From our tour, we learned that the cemetery was built outside the city walls. So if you were a Catholic, you would get buried in a cemetery inside the city walls. If you were not, you would be buried here. Definitely very Scooby-Doo-esque. This fun-looking building here, this is the Villa Zagarada Museum, which is a smaller museum and it's home to Victorian-era art.
It's very ornate, like.
Yeah.
Outside.
Yes, as the sign tells me, it is a scale replica of Spain's Alhambra Palace.
Yeah.
So probably the most famous thing there is to do here in St. Augustine is the Castillo De San Marcos, which is the old Spanish fort built over 300 years ago.
In 1672.
Yes.
But Spanish.
Yes. And you can pay $15 to come in here and walk around. They have a whole bunch of exhibits and stuff like that.
It's interesting because it was the Spanish that built it, then it was invaded by the British, and then it took by America.
Yeah, and they've got historical cannons, and it's kind of neat to walk around something that's that old. And it's right here, right in the middle of town. As you can see, the town right over there. All right, so the next section of the video is going to be all about the food we ate here in St. Augustine. And that's one of our favorite things to do when we travel is seek out like new and exciting food options. And we're going to start here.
My favorite thing.
Yeah, at Pizza Time. Oh, one of the more famous.
It's apparently the second best pizza in the United States. I don't know about that, but you know.
I mean, from their window, it
does look really good pizza.
It does. Look at that.
Yeah,
all right, let's go grab a slice or two. Yep, there it is. According to this sign, the second best pizza in the United States. All right, so we got a whole bunch of stuff. We got a slice of the meat lovers, 3 wonderful looking garlic knots that serve with some sauce, and then a white pizza. We also got a soda. It was about $17 for all that. Keep in mind, this is a cash-only establishment.
Did you have an ATM?
Yeah. Probably with insane fees.
Correct.
So it's currently dinner time, and we're going to eat at the Floridian Restaurant, which is right here in the center of town. It was something Molly was really looking forward to. All right, so the food is here. We're sharing a couple things. We got biscuits and belly, which is biscuits and pork belly.
And if you know me, this is a wonderful meal.
Yeah, you love biscuits. And I got a waffle dish with pulled pork on top that also looks amazing. Drinks here are really good too. There's a Molly, what is your cocktail called?
Coming to see the lights.
Coming to see the lights, which is a very like a fruity vodka-based cocktail, and I'm drinking a really nice double IPA called the Eradicator. So food here looks pretty good. Price is not overly cheap. Cocktail is 10. That's about 14, 16, and I don't know. Trying something a little bit different this time. Delish Kebabs. And we walked by this yesterday and it looks really good. You get steak, chicken, bacon wrapped chicken, or pork sausage. About $6 to $8. So we went with the bacon wrapped chicken kebab. And guys, I can tell you this smells just incredible.
It does take a little while.
Yeah, they are cooked fresh, so this did take us like 15 minutes to get, but
it smells really good.
Yeah. Right now we're in the Whetstone's Chocolates, which they do a tour of their chocolate factory. And they have this wonderful, wonderful shop filled with all these treats.
You ready, Pop?
Oh, man. Fudge. Oh, my goodness. Marshmallows. And I love that they sell, like, a rubber ducky that's branded. They also have ice cream. Delicious-looking ice cream. So we went, we had to grab a couple of chocolates. So we got a dark chocolate raspberry truffle, a milk chocolate amaretto truffle, and a dark chocolate raspberry cream.
And if you do want to do the tour, they're 45 minutes. Unfortunately, we missed it just by a few moments.
Yeah, and it's about $8. It's not a free tour.
Yep.
But you do get chocolate samples, I'm sure.
Yes.
So our next stop on our food adventure here is Sarbez, which advertises itself as grilled cheese, craft beer, arcade, and live music. So craft beer for the both of us, and arcade for me, and grilled cheese for you.
Yeah. Win-win.
So this place is really cool. Great craft beer selection. I believe they do live music in the evenings. Just really cool. They also got arcade games. Modern arcade games too. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Big Galaga, and Space Invaders. There's nobody in here, but the bathroom has an old tube TV in it. A map of Long Island, where I'm from, originally. There's more games out here. This is quite the place. A very interesting vibe. Excited for the grilled cheese. Their menu is pretty interesting. And yeah, there's an arcade in the back. Lots of pinball, whack-a-mole. Pretty cool. Crane game. And then the decoration in the arcade is all VHS tapes.
You have the chance. Free us or die.
Cool. So this is really cool. When you come in, there's a crane game you can play for $1, but instead of winning like plushies, you can win souvenir shirts from Sarbez here. So we're sharing some stuff here. Got a new juice IPA, hazy IPA from Southern Tier. I like a lot of the beers Southern Tier makes, and this one is no exception.
It's really good.
And then we got the 4x4 grilled cheese, Molly.
Yes.
Which is 4 meats and 4 cheeses. It looks incredible.
Looks amazing.
So we split up for breakfast. Molly went to the Kookaburra, which is a local chain, like a local coffee chain.
It's Australia.
Yes.
Of which they're known for like a flat white or something coffee, and the Aussie pies.
Now what is in this?
It's bacon, egg, and cheese.
It smells good.
Yeah.
I went to Fiction Donuts and got a donut. So right now it's time for desserts. We're at the Bar Harbor Cheesecake Factory, where you get to pick 3 cheesecake flavors to make a cheesecake flight for $5. So this is pretty much the most adorable dessert ever. I got a birthday cake, a cherry cordial, and a dark chocolate mint bark. Molly, what did you get?
A white chocolate cranberry.
Glazed donut?
Glazed donut. And then the cookies and cream.
Very adorable desserts for $5 each.
Very.
Time for a snack, so we're gonna have something from Ben's Soft Pretzels.
Which I think is a chain?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So Ben's has some really cool stuff. Pizzas, pretzels with like covered in cheese and toppings. These big pocket kind of pretzels. This is good. We just got that cheese and bacon one. So the pretzel's really good. Definitely a little bit on the expensive side. It was I think like $6.50 or so. But I will say they have a beautiful little garden area in the store where you can enjoy your pretzel. It is dinner time, so we're gonna go to Mojo's Old City Barbecue. All right, so we decided to split the brisket meal here. And it is gigantic. Like, this looks like a meal each.
Yes.
So we wanted to split a meal here, then go somewhere else. But like, I love that it's served with Texas toast. Like, I want all barbecue to be served with either like white bread or Texas toast.
Yes, it's so good.
We got 2 sides. We want mac and cheese and fries, and the brisket. You definitely have that nice pink smoke on it. Look at that smoke line. Also, if you're a whiskey drinker and you're coming to St. Augustine, their bar has a pretty good draft selection. Like there's probably 12 taps, but there's probably 100 different. All those bottles, those are all whiskeys. Now time for something Molly likes. Whenever we go to a new town, if there's a cupcake bakery, she likes to stop, so we're gonna have a snack here at Lulu's. They had a pretty nice selection of cupcakes, so it's tough to pick one.
Yes.
We ended up going with cannoli.
Which I don't know if I've seen.
No, it sounds very different, but they had like a white chocolate raspberry that looked good.
Strawberry shortcake.
shortcake.
Oreo.
Yeah. Cupcake's gonna run you about roughly $5. I do love towns that have something like this. You have Zeno's Boardwalk Sweet Shop, the world's most famous taffy, and right there, the mesmerizing taffy puller doing its job on the window. I always find these things so interesting. And they do have a giant assortment of taffies inside. But I like this. So one of me and Molly's favorite types of tourism is alcohol-based tourism. So in this next section of the video, we're gonna show you everywhere we went to have a drink here in St. Augustine, starting here at the St. Augustine Distillery, which was built out of an old ice plant and gives free tours and free samples. So, you know, sign me up. So we are now inside the St. Augustine Distillery. Right now they're doing a self-guided walking tour with 4 stops along the way to try cocktails.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun. It looks like here is where they bottle up all the booze. Oh yeah, boxes and boxes of booze. Very neat. Looks like as part of the experience, if you wanted to pay some money, you could fill your own bottle. How neat. So the tour is really fun, very quick. You get to have 4 cocktails, so then you can try whatever you want. And I'm, as a tiki bar guy, look at this St. Augustine Distillery tiki mug. That is so neat.
It's very odd, but really neat.
Yeah, but it makes sense. They sold it in a gift with their rum. Next stop is the Tropical Trade Winds Lounge, as they clearly have live music and some cheap drinks. All right, so we're now inside. The band just finished up. There was a guitar guy who sounded really good. Our drinks are very festive for $5. They're served in pint glasses. They are pre-mixed drinks, so just keep that in mind. But mine was good. I had the rum punch. It was pretty good. It was festive. The place, I would say, is very eclectic. Like lots of random stuff. Now I'm going to show off my favorite part of this bar is this giant devil type thing behind the bar. A little dark, but you can kind of make it out there. Now, I go to a lot of bars. That is very different. So the next stop on our drinking adventure is really, really pretty. This is the Casablanca Inn, a boutique hotel, and we're stopping in because it's home to the Teeny Martini Bar. So this bar, I would say, is a winner. Obviously, we're fans of martini bars anyway, and they got about 24 different martinis on the menu, and they bring them out in the shaker glasses. Your server shakes them up and pours them out right in front of you. I got a sparkling raspberry martini, so raspberry vodka, Chambord, cranberry juice, and a Prosecco float. Molly, you went with a dessert martini.
Yeah, the after 8.
Yes, and yours has chocolate vodka, Godiva chocolate liqueur, creme de menthe, and Baileys.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's challenging because these are not cheap. They're about $12.75 each.
Yes.
But you want to order like everything on the menu.
Yes. And this really reminds of the cruises.
Yeah, like the Celebrity Martini Bar and
Yeah.
Celebrity Cruise Line.
So good.
The next bar is something different, something I don't think I've ever done before. It's Augie's Draft House, which is a self-serve tap room. And you have your options: fun, beer, wine, and cider. That way. No fun. That way. So this place is really, really interesting. It's kind of like Dave & Buster's or a gas station for beer. So you put your credit card on file, and you get a card like you would at Dave & Buster's, and then you come over here. So like, I'm going to try the South Lake IPA. So I put my card in the holder, and then that has my full name in it, and then I pour my own beer, and it tells me how much I charge as I go. It works out about $5 a pint, but then you could also, like, it's a great way to trying as many beers as you want, like 2/3 of a beer for $2.90. I got 9 ounces. It's a really, really cool idea here at Augie's Draft. So while we're here at Augie's Draft House, I am so full. Molly got a little hungry, and we had a coupon for like buy one get one free burgers, so might as well try 2, right? So we got a bacon, egg, and cheeseburger, and this one's interesting. It's a burger with pimento cheese on it.
Looks delicious.
Time for more craft beer, this time at the Bog Brewing Company. So when I was researching this trip, this is the brewery I was most looking forward to. And we went hard with the sampler, the biggest sampler I think we've ever had. We got 10 beers, ended up being about $23, and we got to take our pick of the beers as well. And a lot of them sound really good.
Yeah, there's a good list.
Yeah. We'll let you know what our favorites are in a little bit. It looks like it's made out of like a beer barrel. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, so we've had all 10, and I really liked it. Dramatically different flavors, like lots of different stuff. From Belgian quads to Belgian Trappist, sours, hazy IPAs, a smoked ale, a Berliner Weiss, like lots of different stuff here. Molly, which one do you think was your favorite?
My favorite was probably the Wild IPA.
The Wild IPA? I really liked the Sun Ripped, which is the double New England IPA. I also really liked their Belgian quad.
Yeah.
But then they did some really cool stuff, like they took a Berliner Weiss.
That one was really good.
And they put they asked if we wanted raspberry syrup in it, and I love raspberry flavoring.
Absolutely.
So that was a huge fan for me.
That was really good.
Yeah. For the brewery I was most looking forward to on this trip, definitely lived up to the hype.
Very, very good selections.
And pretty good pricing too. Like that's a lot of beer for $23.
Yeah.
Our next stop is the Milltop Tavern, which is a food and spirits location built into a historic old mill.
Yeah. With a working mill.
Yeah. And you can tell like that looks really old from the bottom.
Yeah.
So quite enjoying this bar. We're drinking craft beer for about $6 and change. They've got a guitar guy, an adorable stage.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
And very unique country songs.
Yes, or non-country. Really,
It's not country songs, but
like a country
non-country.
twist,
Yeah.
Next up is a stop for Molly as we are at the San Sebastian Winery.
Yeah. Free wine tastings.
Yes. So the winery is really, really neat. You go like station by station. So we started with the dry wines
And you get
downstairs, and now we're going upstairs to our next stop. And first of all, they've got these bridges, which is like definitely made out of old wine barrels. Mm-hmm. And again, the tastings are pretty much free. There's some you got to pay for if you want some limited editions.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice tour. I would definitely recommend coming here. And I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. So on the third floor of the winery, they have a wine bar on the rooftop. And this is pretty awesome up here. I'm not the biggest wine person, so I'm drinking a Southern Tier Pumpkin Espresso beer. Molly is drinking one of her favorites that she had during sampling. I love the wine glass. The wine glasses are beautiful. But they've got a guitar guy getting ready to go on up here. They got food. And then, you know, you can look out over the buildings of St. Augustine. You can look out over the harbor.
More construction like I am.
Molly gets some lovely construction on that apartment complex. And really, really nice spot. The weather's perfect for us too.
Yes, it is.
So we decided to stop in for a drink here at the Bull and Crown Public House. And look at this adorable looking bar and restaurant. The pub's pretty nice, very cozy in here. And we just got a couple of cocktails. Fun thing about this bar, they use a lot of the local liquors from either the City Gate Distillery or the St. Augustine Distillery in their specialty cocktails. Time for some more craft beer. This time we're stopping in at the Old Coast Ales Brewery. So the icon for this brewery is this bicycle that carries multiple beer kegs that hangs from the rafters. So I absolutely love how they do their flights here. You get 6 beers out of, they have about 10 or 11 on draft, and you get to pick 6 of them for $11, so a really good price. And you write them down on a postcard from the brewery that you get to keep.
And I love how the board has its logo on it.
We'll tell you what our favorite is right now. Alrighty, so we have different favorites. I like the Lighthouse Blonde Ale, this one here. Molly, your favorite was?
The Anticipation, the hazy.
The hazy IPA. They have 2 hazy IPAs, which I normally really like. I'm shocked that that was not my favorite. But yeah, it was the Lighthouse.
I remember
cool place.
I got kicked off campus because they...
I'll never say no to visiting a distillery, especially one with free tastings. And the City Gate Distillery is right across the street from the Castillo. Let's go check it out. All right, so it's actually a pretty cool spot here at City Gate Spirits. Feels like a taste of Gatlinburg right here in Florida. So you get free samples and lots of them. You go from a whiskey station to a rum station to a moonshine station. You end up getting like 9 free samples, which is wonderful. And then, you know, we go to Gatlinburg about once a year or twice a year, and it feels so Gatlinburg from, you know, the signs and the pricing resembles Sugarlands or anything you could see up there in Gatlinburg. And even that, where you buy 2 bottles, the third one's, you know, half off and stuff like that. Out of the spirits, I wasn't a huge fan, but my favorite, I think, was the orange rum.
Yes, the rum was my favorite.
Yeah, and they've got all sorts of stuff.
Rum.
They've got whiskey, vodka, rum, and moonshine, and the tastings are free, so might as well stop on in. The wait staff is very helpful. They give you the spiel, and I really enjoyed it. Would definitely recommend. And then the building itself is pretty cool. I will never say no to an Irish pub, and they got one here called Ann O'Malley's. Actually owned by people from Buffalo, so they serve a Buffalo tradition, the beef on wick. The next stop right in the middle of town is Ancient City Brewery, right next to the, I'm assuming the main square. All right, so we made it inside. They got 6 beers on draft today. We did a flight. The flight was pretty cheap. We got to try 4 of them for $7. I think both of our favorites is the orange.
Yep. The Augustine orange.
Yep. And that'll do it for our time in St. Augustine. I've never been here before, and I enjoyed the city. It's very different. It's got a lot of history to it, and there's it feels very uncorporate-y.
Yes.
I love all the old, like, all the old streets and a lot of like the pedestrian-only streets filled with, you know, shops and bars and restaurants.
The architecture is gorgeous.
Yep. Now we got to do a lot of attractions. Molly, what was your favorite thing we did in St. Augustine?
The Alligator Farm. It was way different than I thought. It was way bigger. The exhibits were really well kept up, and they had so many different species of crocodiles.
Yes.
And Maximo.
Maximo was really cool. I would say that's probably my favorite. I also really enjoyed the train tour. Our guide was great. You got to see the whole town, so I really enjoyed that. Now, your favorite part of adventures is normally where we ate. Do you have a favorite thing we ate on the trip?
The biscuits and belly. Those biscuits were so good. And the pork belly, delicious. But it is a close runner-up.
I did like, for me, it's probably that grilled cheese we had at Sarbez.
Yep.
Which is just a weird place. Like, that place was so cool.
Yes.
It's really like, when we travel, that's something I always like. It's weird and different, and that is 100%
That was weird and different.
Weird and different.
I also like the kebabs.
Oh, that bacon-wrapped chicken kebab. Wonderful.
So good.
All right, we did a lot of drinking on the adventure as well. What was your favorite place we went drinking?
The Old Mill.
That was cool.
That was really cool with the guitar player and being in such an old building.
For me, I loved Augie's Draft House, getting that card and pouring your own beer. It was really, really neat. It was like you're at some sort of like Dave & Buster's gas station for beer.
And you like both of those.
Yes, I'm a big fan of gas stations.
I meant beer.
I also really, really liked the distillery and winery tours. They were done up very much like attractions, and you got a lot of free samples. All right, and that'll do it for our time in St. Augustine. I hope if you're planning a trip out to St. Augustine, this video helped you out. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comments section below, and thank you very much for watching.